So Nigel, let's get your reaction firstly to the postponement of yesterday's scheduled fixture at home to Bolton Wanderers.
Disappointed and frustrated, but it's understandable once frost gets in the ground and the severe weather we've had in the last few days. It's difficult to remedy that. Nothing you can do. Just frustrated as well that I think it might have been playable by 7:30, but the referee's got to make an early decision at lunchtime. It was thawing, it was raining. To what degree, if that had been enough, I'm not sure, but he has a decision to make. Even if it had been tonight, we'd have definitely played. And when you're in the sort of groove that we're in and winning games, you want to keep playing. So, yeah, a little bit frustrated, but we have to then use that for Saturday.
Can any benefits at all be taken from that postponement?
I don't think so, no. I think Bolton had a player missing, Ryan Delaney, who was sent off last Saturday, so he would have been suspended, and that was one. We know Ryan from Burton, so that would have been one less threat, certainly from set plays. But no, it would have been another good time to play in conditions probably that would have suited us.
You will doubtless have been without Ollie Clark, your captain, last night. Has he got an opportunity now to play at Walsall on Saturday?
He's got an opportunity to be fit. He's been out 2 or 3 weeks. Whether he comes straight back in, I'm not sure, but it would certainly be nice to have him back in the squad and available. And that's probably the only positive in having the game off. That if it is next week or whenever it's rearranged for, he should be around and fit. And it gives us a chance to do a little bit of business. But we're generally happy, with the players. Anybody who would come in wouldn't have gone straight into the team anyway. The team's playing well, winning games, so there's no need for wholesale changes and for bringing a load of players in at the moment. I see people in all through the leagues are bringing 4, 5, 6 players in and everything. It's lovely to be in the position where we're happy with most of the squad, and we can just do a little bit of tinkering here and there.
Yeah, with that said, are you still looking to bring 1 or 2 in?
Yeah, I think a couple would be nice, certainly, and it could be the same number or a little bit more, maybe 3 going out. Some of it will depend on loans as well with the National League, because we've got young players like Aaron O'Driscoll who needs to go out and play. The National League's still going at the moment, but for how long we're not sure. So the loans out may well depend on that situation.
Back to the day-to-day action, and I think it's the first time I've spoken to you where we look outside and everything's clear. You'll be back on the grass today at long last.
Actually training on grass, that'll be lovely. We had a good session on the all-weather, but it doesn't suit all the players, especially the older ones. The younger ones who've grown up with it are fine on it, but the older ones sometimes hurt in the knees and the hips and the back and all that. So it'd be nice to get on the grass today and have a good session, which will replace last night's postponed game.
Walsall on Saturday. What have you made of their season? What do you make of their squad? How would you assess their style?
Well, first of all, I think how Nigel Clough goes about it is brilliant, and the way he sets his teams up to compete and everything. And they have little, like everybody, they have little runs, good runs, bad runs. But I tell you what, they're there or thereabouts again, and it'll be one of our toughest games on Saturday.
How different a test are you expecting it to be than from last Saturday at Southend United?
No more difficult, just different challenges. I think the sort of strikers and the players that they've got will pose different sorts of problems, especially for the centre halves. So it's something they have to deal with.
It was the first game you watched, wasn't it? You were dressed incognito in the stand along with Gary Crosby, as I recall, before you accepted the post as manager. Yeah. You watched that game and I think you got some encouragement from it, but from that match to now, how far has this squad come, would you say?
Very difficult to quantify that and to say exactly. All we've done is won a few games. Confidence is good at the moment and high, and that was the biggest thing that was missing. We were very impressed straight away in that game with the work rate, and that hasn't changed. And some good players who just needed a boost. They've had that with the games that they've won, and I think you're seeing a different sort of team now.
You never get carried away, but from then to now, could you have possibly imagined that Mansfield would go on a run like you have done?
No, I have to say, coming from that point, probably not. Halfway through the season now, to be sitting 10, 11 points clear of the bottom 2 and looking up rather than down is a brilliant situation to be in. And I think it's lifted everybody's spirits that we are in that position. There's nothing worse to restrict your freedom the way you play. If you're thinking, if we lose today or whatever, if we don't win today, must win games and talk like that. I think it just hampers and inhibits the players, and I think we're seeing a little bit more freedom from them now.
And finally, of course, in these extraordinary times, you've not yet met, so to speak, the Stag supporters.
No.
But you will get the opportunity, again in inverted commas, to do so via way of a digital or virtual fans forum in a couple of weeks' time. More details to come on that in the coming days, but how much are you looking forward to that opportunity of answering the Stags fans' questions?
Oh, very much so. That'll be our first real contact with them. Exactly what a digital forum is, I'm not quite sure.
I'll fill you in soon.
You'll have to tell me, I have to confess how that's going to work. Yeah, looking forward to meeting them, although it's remotely.
What are your sort of memories of the Stags fans, if I can put it like that, from coming up against them as an opposing manager?
Just passionate, and we played, I think, in the conference with Burton up here, and it was just a good, solid, hardcore of passionate supporters who just wanted, I think, a little bit of success and something, put a smile on their face, a team that they can identify with. I think that's the same with all supporters throughout the country. I think they want a team that they can identify with. First of all, work the socks off when they go on the pitch, because that's what they would do. If they had an opportunity to play, that's the first thing they'd do. They'd work the socks off. And then to try and be positive, score goals, entertain, all those sorts of things, and win.
I say this with sincerity. I think pretty much every single Stag supporter is so encouraged by your appointment here, and has been since you've turned around the fortunes of this team. With that in mind, you can only sort of gauge that in this day and age with them not being at the stadium via the internet. Do you read comments at all on the internet and that type of thing?
No.
Nigel, thank you.